What's going on, folks? How you guys doing? Alright, so let's talk a topic that's been hotly debated in the last couple days. So, some of you saw that I recently posted a picture of Harley's CVO RR bike that they released, their race bike, the factory race bike. Meaning that it's kind of like the Destroyer was back when they released the Destroyer in 2006. It was a factory drag bike, wasn't even street registered, wasn't street legal. This bike is a street legal motorcycle, but it is the RR Roadglide. Cool bike, definitely a cool bike. It also comes with a $110,000 price ticket. So, and they'll only make 131 of them. It's 131 cubic inch displacement. So we're going to go over a couple things here. I posted a picture of that bike, and I said, if you guys are serious about wanting something like that, give us a call. And I've made myself some notes, so you'll have to forgive me here if you see me looking away. It's because I'm looking at my notes, because I'm not that smart. So anyhow, so when Harley starts these bikes, they start from zero, meaning they're just building a bike from scratch. So can we justify $110,000? Here's my answer. Now, I wouldn't start that from scratch. I would start that using a 2025 CVO ST Roadglide as the donor. Okay, this is just to give you a ballpark on numbers. That bike is listed at $44,999, so it's $45,000. So I know if I post that, if we use that as the number, people are going to go, oh, there's no way you can't buy it for that, blah, 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 blah. You can, because I've seen guys buy them under $40,000. But either way, let's do some pre-Dodge government math. Let's say, okay, fine. Let's market it at a premium. Let's say we got $55,000 in the bike, which by the time you buy the bike and pay tax on it, you won't even have that much in it. But either way. And that, to me, that bike is a bit overpriced as well, but, it's what we got to use. It's got the same screen, same everything on it, same fairing. It looks identical. So we use a $55,000 donor. We then tear it apart and throw away a bunch of the parts or sell them off to make profit back. The front suspension on that new RR bike is Öhlins. It's a FGR 253 suspension. That suspension is $5,299. Okay, $5,299 for the front suspension. Let's give an allowance of say $2,000 on the rear suspension. That's more than we need, but again, we're doing government math. We're going to add it up. I'm going to round them. Okay, so that way nobody can say, well, you can't build it for that. You can't do it for that. You can. So we've got that. That takes us to $60,000 in this bike. Okay, $6,290 by the time we've got the front and rear suspension in it. Let's say we've got carbon fiber bodywork. Okay, carbon fiber bodywork. By the time you spend just under $3,000 in the front fairing, so I'm going to round to 3. Just under $3,000 in the bag, so we're going to round to 3. About $500 in the side covers. $1,000 a piece on the fenders. If we add all that together, we'll have $7,290, okay, in this bike. $72,090, $990. Now, this bike has a cool braking system on it. Let's allot $3,000 for braking. Okay, we can put badass brakes on this thing, as good as what's on it or better for $3,000. So we're at $75,990. So the engine, it's a 131. They claim it makes 150 horsepower. If you take just a crate 131, which they claim at 120, 130, I commonly make 140 plus and 150 plus out of that same exact engine when I tune it. And we can do minor little things to change it if we were just throwing the factory engine out and putting that in there. Okay, we'll be at our 150 power-wise. Let's say now we're at, by the time we add all that together, we're $83,490. Okay. Now they say, oh, the transmission's different. The transmission, okay, sure, cool, whatever. The transmission's $4,000. It's very, very similar to what's in the other bike, in the stock bike, but it is a slightly better version. There's actually aftermarket versions that are even better than that. But Jim's has got a badass Fat 6 that they came out with, which is stronger than what they're running in that. So say $4,000. So we're $87,490. Now, Harley's touting, oh, this has a badass billet clutch basket in it. Cool. Okay, so it's got a clutch basket. So clutch baskets are about $460. But let's say we throw a Recluse Apex in the thing, which is $1,500. We put a badass basket in it. So we got, say, $2,000 in this clutch. Okay, and the compensator ramp. So that's what an Apex and a billet comp ramp. And again, I'm overestimating the price. You can buy the stuff cheaper, but I don't want anybody saying, well, you're cheaping out. I'm not cheaping out. So we've got front suspension, rear suspension, brakes, engine work, clutch, transmission. I mean, there's only so many parts on a motorcycle. The bodywork, the carbon fiber bodywork, you'll have about $10,000 in it. It does have some paint on it. You can throw $2,000 in there, here or there, whatever, $3,000, whatever you want to spend. But we're getting close, and I'm overestimating. I started out almost $10,000 over list, so I'm not undershooting anything. So we add all that together, and we have $89,490. Okay, which means we are $20,000 over the $110,000 they're listing at. We're $20,000 under the $110,000 they're listing at. $20,000. Okay, $20,000 is a hell of a lot of money. You can buy a stock Roadglide without any of these parts on it for $27,000, $28,000. So we can damn near buy another motorcycle. And keep in mind, I overshot the price. They list it $45,000. I started at $55,000. So I overshot it by 10. Again, I'm doing government math. So we just, this is what it is. And that's a hell of a lot of money. If you're going to spend $100,000+ on a motorcycle, and you can, I own a couple bikes that I have some big bucks in. Okay, it's what it is. I race motorcycles, so you end up with a lot of money in these bikes. They're custom built. They're crazy power. They're not 150 horse bikes. They're 400 horse bikes. But either way, these bikes, and they're Harleys, so it's not that I'm talking about metric stuff. I'm talking about Harleys. You can spend this kind of money in a bike. Absolutely, I got it. You can spend $100,000 in a motorcycle for many different reasons, but just in performance. So we're $20,000+ ahead, and they're only going to build 131 of those bikes to begin with. So if you're not one of the first 131 people, you're not getting one. If you'd like to build something badass with better performance, and you're not one of those 131 people, or maybe $100,000 isn't, in your market, it's not in your money, give us a call, 254-680-6881, and we'll sit down and figure out what you'd like. I can start with a $55,000 donor bike and still come in under budget. If we start with a $20-something thousand bike, we come in way under budget. It still has the same screen. The things that we retain, we're going to have. I'm not saying that RR bike isn't a badass bike. It's a badass bike. But I'm saying that when you do the dollars and cents on it, it doesn't make sense. Harley's not starting with a $55,000 bike and then throwing everything away. They're starting from zero. They're not putting that suspension on. You're paying for that more than once. You're buying that stuff and then you're going to throw it out or resell it. If you resell it, you've made money back. So you've offset your cost. If you just throw the parts away, if you don't care, money doesn't bother you, whatever, fine. Throw the parts away. You're still coming under budget. It's just what it is. I'm not hating on that RR. It's a cool bike. But it's overpriced. Way overpriced. I understand that part of that is because it's exclusive, because there's 131. But either way. Give us a call, folks. Take care.